The banking industry may like what Washington is doing about financial reform, but it can't be too happy with some local moves to eliminate double fees for customers using ATMs. One fee from your own bank and one from the bank that owns the ATM. But Santa Monica, California is the first community to start fighting back against a practice that some call double dipping. Jerry Cobb has the story.
I think it's very unfair.
I think they're ridiculous.
I don't think it's fair that you're charged twice.
Consumers have been griping about the double dip fee since 1996, when rule changes allowed banks to process ATM transactions from their competitors' customers. Congress has tried several times to outlaw the $1 to $3 surcharge. Santa Monica succeeded.
The pressure from the big banking industry has prevented this kind of legislation from moving on state legislative levels. Sometimes it's easier on the municipal level where we're closer to the voter and further away from big money.
In San Francisco, labor and consumer groups have launched a ballot initiative to eliminate the double fee. Voters are expected to approve it next month.
Prop F will end the ATM fee ripoff. This surcharge is unlike any other bank fee. It's charged not to a bank's own customers, but to other people's customers.
Connecticut and Iowa have approved similar bans, and dozens of local governments are studying the issue. It's even come up on the Pentagon's radar. Defense Department officials are pushing a proposal to eliminate all ATM surcharges from machines located on military bases.
I think that's the best example of how broad the support is. It's not just cities in California like Santa Monica and San Francisco, we think, but the United States military that are sick and tired of the banks nickel and diming their soldiers or their citizens to death.
Consumer groups say banks pull in about $2 billion a year in ATM fees, but bank industry officials say more than 75% of their customers avoid the double fee by using their own bank's ATMs. And analysts point out the surcharge is hardly a profit center.
In terms of actual impact to the bottom line, it's not as great as many would perceive.
While all bank fees now account for about 35% of industry profits, ATM charges are a small part of that, which is why banks say money is not the issue here.
If a city council can go after a national bank's pricing structure one day, they can go after Starbucks the next. They can go after Joe's Tires.
Bad thing.
While federal regulators have been mostly silent on the issue, the industry intends to take Santa Monica to court over its ordinance, as it has Connecticut and Iowa. But this war is far from over. Jerry Cobb, CNBC Business Center, Los Angeles.
But in some places, it hasn't even begun. In Britain, Woolwich plc is raising the fee it charges customers who use ATMs outside its own network. Woolwich calls it a disloyalty fee, and it's increasing it by 67%.
San Francisco voters will decide next week whether to approve a ban on automatic teller machine surcharges. Don Knapp has more.
Most San Franciscans can get their own money from their own accounts at their own bank's ATMs fee-free. But when they use another bank's machines, they not only pay, but pay twice.
Your bank charges you for using someone else's ATM, and then that ATM charges you for using it as well, so you're getting ripped off on both sides. It's rather ridiculous.
That's why this ATM user says he'll vote for Measure F on Tuesday. It would ban ATM surcharges.
So in effect, many consumers are paying $3 or even $4 every time they take even just $20 out of an ATM. And I think there's something wrong when you've got to pay that much money just to get your own hard-earned money back.
But some customers say the banks have a right to charge them twice when customers use another bank's ATM.
You know, if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I have to go somewhere else, I will. I'll pay the charge. This is the 90s. There's no free lunch.
And bankers say they're just breaking even on ATM machines, considering their cost, service, and maintenance.
It's a huge investment on the part of the banks. That being said, it's not an entirely cost-driven argument. You're paying for convenience when you're doing this, and it's like convenience pricing for anything else.
Both sides indicate voters are likely to pass the measure banning ATM surcharges. And bankers say if they do, they'll immediately take the measure to court. Because most banks fall under federal regulations, bankers say any measure city voters pass shouldn't affect them. Don Knapp.